And let us begin. From open mics to trivia nights, films and plays to festivals and concerts, events don't just happen on their own. Behind the scenes, someone is organizing everything, and that someone is the producer. But what exactly is a producer? What do they do? How do they do it? And can anyone be one? I'm Veronica Dymond, a writer, comedian, and sometimes independent producer. I love talking shop with other creators and hearing their advice, insights, and war stories. If you've ever wondered how shows get made, this is the show for you. Welcome to the means of producing. This week on the show, my guest is Stephen Vanier. Steve runs Fogged Up Comedy, the longest-running open mic comedy show in St. John's. He came by to chat about the challenges and highlights of running an open mic comedy show, his favorite show memories, and his advice to people interested in starting their own shows. I want to give a huge thanks to Steve for coming by, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. All right, let's start with some personal questions. What's your name, and what kind of comedy do you do?
My name's Stephen Vanier, and you know what? Katie Warren told me that all of your jokes are based on facts. So I guess I do observational facts, news headline kind of humor for the most part, as well as like personal stories.
Gnarly. What's the name of your show, and what kind of show is it?
Fogged Up Comedy. It's every Thursday, 9 p.m. It's an open mic style comedy night. And we've been going on, we're almost at 3 years and 2 months.
What does it mean to produce a show?
Patience. It means patience. Being able to come back when the week before was not what you expected to be, and then do that over and over and over again. I think it's just trying your best, trying to make sure that your main concern is the people who show up to watch, and try and give comics a good gym to work out in, more or less.
How long have you been producing, and how did you get started?
I've been producing shows, I think, since about 2017 or 2018. The first one I ever did was a monthly at Black Sheep, 9 Lives Comedy, which I think only had 5 lives, but it was pretty good. So since then, that was the only monthly I really ran. Then I helped out with the Wednesday night mic with Todd and Sarah for probably 4 years. Moved to Tuesdays, and then I took over the Thursday night mic, which was at Trapper John's for a little bit, and then moved to Black Sheep with Jen Somerton, and then after COVID finally kind of went through there, started Fogged Up at Aaron's Pub so it'll be 3 years, 2022.
2022. So you got a long history of making shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite show memory?
Favorite show memory? Good question. I think it was first year Fogged Up, and we started getting, people that were coming back to shows, really enjoying it. And it was one of those things where I started to realize it was more about the audience that showed up and having those inside jokes to really make that community. And so when you got to know a few people that would keep coming, I decided there's one fella, his name's Gabe, I believe, and he was a banker. And, everybody hates bankers except for the one running our country right now, I guess. But for the most part, everybody doesn't like bankers, so I'd always make jokes. And then one day, I had a prize giveaway, and I had trivia questions to give away, and asked for a volunteer. And then Gabe came up because I volunteered him, and I think the questions were all bank related. So I think it was 3 questions. The first one was, what was Frankie Muniz's first starring role in film? Cody Banks, who's the famous street artist in Europe who's got all these things, Banksy, of course, and then in the Oscar-winning film, The Big Short, what type of corporation took down every small business, American Canadian, ruined the economy for everybody else? And then, of course, the answer was Banks. And the best part was he left his job at the bank 2 days prior to that, to me setting up that bit.
He was with you.
Yeah, I'd like to have the guy had a small part in, him seeing the light side of things.
That's great. What do you like about producing shows?
That the shows exist, I guess. Just it's one of those things where the one thing I really dislike about running shows and seeing these Facebook threads on communities and stuff about people complaining there's not enough mics or not enough whatever, is often the ones complaining aren't the ones going out and doing it. So when I'm running a show, I at least know there's always going to be a place for, myself to try out new material, other people try out new material, and, see local comics try out new material, and, they're 10, 15 minutes as sevens, they're type fives, just trying to keep it alive and see if we can get some more momentum going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I produced, as you know, for just a year doing an open mic. So the amount that you've done is incredible to me because I burned out so quickly. Like, room runners are the backbone of a stand-up comedy community.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I was thinking about recently, like, have you done any stand-up in Halifax? Okay, there's a mic in Halifax. It was the first mic I ever bombed at. Because I came out of the gun with jokes, whatever. If you remember, there was that 1 year anniversary at Trappers that was filmed, and that was the first time somebody had ever asked me to do comedy instead of me asking to do comedy. And I did 7 minutes. I had to follow Matt Wright that night, and I didn't do better than Matt or anything like that, but I did really well. And the next week, I was going to Halifax. I was going to Nova Scotia to visit my parents and everything like that. And I got time at a mic in Halifax. First time I ever did stand up in front of my now fiance, my parents, some friends back home.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it felt really good. I did basically I was like, okay, just all my best stuff from last week, no problem. And I just bombed. So I was able to do that mic again 2 years ago. So about 7 years later, 7 or 8 years later, whatever it was. And I did really well. But what blew my mind was it was the same host then as it is now, Catherine Robertson. She's just been doing it, grinding it out. And they've switched locations recently. I haven't gotten to do that one, but it looks great. And it's just somebody I always think about, whenever I'm like, oh, why do you do this to yourself? And it's like, well, somebody's been doing it to themselves a lot longer, so it'll be all right.
Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate having the room. I don't go out as much as I used to, but I really appreciate having a room where we can play. And it is nice to have like yours is an open mic where I feel like it's the typical classic open mic where you go up and you fail or you succeed on your own merit. That's it. Right. That's it. If there's 2 people in the audience, if there's 50 people in the audience, you have to win those people. They're there to watch comedy, but they're there to be entertained. Like, you have to, it's cutting your teeth. You actually work out your material in your room.
Yeah. And I think part of that is just it's a pay what you can show. So it's not $5 to get in. So it's not you're not necessarily there because of comedy, especially we got karaoke afterwards, which thank goodness, because they drive a lot of our audience.
I told Alan to put karaoke after the show because we did that at the Levy and it was really successful. Huge.
Well, then we owe a lot to you. The karaoke drives a lot of the audience, and people come out, and like you said, I find the room a lot of the time doesn't have momentum like you'd think in a standard comedy club where somebody goes up, kills, and it helps out the next person. It really feels like sometimes it's laugh. Okay, what are you gonna say next? Laugh. What are you gonna say next? You know, it's like it's every joke has to really start landing for that audience to really like you.
Yeah. But I think that you need that in stand-up comedy. Like you can't just have an audience that's there to support you. You kind of, I think, need to have at least have to work for it. You know, you need to earn it.
That's right. That's right.
That's what it feels like. Because when you walk into a bigger show, you don't know who that audience is. You know, you get hired for a corporate show, you don't know anything about those people, so you're gonna have to fight them and win them. And it's great to create an audience. I love shows that have like a special curated audience, but it's also really good to have a show where you just don't know who's going to be in the audience and you have to do your best and win them over. I just think that's great.
Yeah. And like I said, we know a lot of the audience members, but yeah, like because they've come to the show for so long, some of them they've become like their own American Idol judges. Like sometimes audience members will come to me after the show and be like, "Oh, this person was great. This person was hilarious. This person, I don't know what that was." It's like, oh, you know, 2 weeks ago you told me you loved them. So
again, that's part of the community, is like you leave the comments under the videos and stuff. That's the comment section afterwards. Were you given any advice when you started producing, and do you have any advice? For somebody who would be interested in starting their own show?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for any comedy show, whether it's an open mic, whether it's a monthly, whatever it is, paid professional show, is the venue has to be on your side. Like, I've done shows where the venue was just like, okay, we have open space for you if you want it. But the difference between a place that'll be like, yes, we want you here, we want to actually promote it, we want to actually build something, we're not going to just worry on every single night that's not the greatest, because that makes the biggest difference. So you need, you know, whether it's a manager, whether it's, you know, a bartender, whether it's the owner, you need them to be at least patient with your show, show what it can be. And for the people running the shows, I think it's just about trying to be as consistent as possible. It's really hard if you're doing like, even like bi-weekly. We did that for a bit at Elixir there. And it's tough because people think just come every week and then it's not there the next. So you kind of lose a little bit of that momentum. But yeah, it's just trying to put your best foot forward. Try not to alienate the audience, and try not to alienate the venue.
I think more people like need to hear, like you're as the producer, your primary consideration is the audience, right? And then your secondary expectation, I think, or consideration has to be the performers. But if you're running a show, it's about the audience. And I think a lot of people are like, it's about me. So again, thank you for running a room where you care about the audience. That cannot be said for all producers. Do you have any plans for the future of the show?
Nothing grandiose or anything. Just keep it going. Try to, you know, improve it little by little. I think that naturally happens, especially with our scene, where I think we've had, like, I don't want to say dips in talent, but dips in consistent talent that consistently comes out.
It's like a wave. It's sinusoidal. Yeah. It goes up and down. Yeah,
exactly. And especially where we don't have a club nearby that, you know, gets the big lights or whatever you want to call it. So sometimes there's no carrots for especially people that have been in it for, you know, 5 years plus to chase. Like we had that just for last showcase recently. That was nice because it got you could see the people coming out again and like really trying to get that nice tight 7 for that occasion. So it comes in waves, but for that talent to progress, you need to give consistent spots. You need to give consistent audiences to some degree for that talent to actually really grow. Right. And I think it's just about trying to, you know, not just help with the mic, but help with the overall scene. I think that's the biggest part of, it feeds itself at that point if you can keep that, keep those wheels turning, I guess.
Yeah, awesome. Last, we're getting to the end of it. When and where can people see your show?
Like I said before, Fogged Up Comedy, Thursday nights, 9 p.m., Aaron's Pub. We are there every single Thursday that we have power, and there is no Just for Laughs showcase. So statistically, that's like 99% of Thursdays.
What do you mean that we have power?
There's been I think it might have only been once, but it might have been twice in 3 years where Water Street was doing some kind of maintenance or something, and there was a scheduled power outage that, we showed up down there and the bar was black and the bartender was in there and like a couple comedians were there and stuff, and it's just like, yeah.
Blackout comedy.
Yeah, that's right.
Dark comedy,
very
literally.
Dark, very dark comedy. Yeah, but every single Thursday, most Thursdays, and karaoke with Megan afterwards.
Amazing. So that's going to be the end of that. Thank you so much for doing this. I don't know if this is a podcast or a video. I thought I would get video just because I think it looks good and everything. But I'm going to call that for this section. But I also wanted to offer, do you just want to straight up shoot a promo talking into the camera being like, hey, I'm Stephen Vanier, come to the show. And I can just give that to you and you can post it to your socials.
Sure, yeah. Hi, my name is Stephen Vanier. I am the host and producer of St. John's longest running open mic, Fogged Up Comedy. We are at Aaron's Pub every single Thursday night at 9 p.m. when we have power, and there is no Just for Laughs showcase, which is most Thursday nights. We're followed by karaoke with Megan, so come down, hear a joke, sing a song, and get home safely so you can get back next week. See you down there.